Let's talk about the Astros and Mariners. Brad's very favorite topic. He's in mourning. For those of you watching, he's wearing black on black today.
I never go
He's a
black
little
on
bit
black,
sad.
but I'm black on black today because I'm mourning.
I don't
So the
blame
Astros
you.
won this one. The Astros won this one 3-0. They swept the series. But I was very encouraged by the whole thing, to be honest with you, because for an incredibly young team, they gave the Astros everything they had.
And gave them a run for their money.
Yeah.
That was the best part. Is that they didn't just throw everything they had in there and everybody was like, that's cute. It was, right. Oh no. Holy wow.
Brig, 2 bounces, and that series was 2-1 after Sunday's game or Saturday's game.
100%.
That's I keep thinking Sunday because they essentially played 4 games in that series.
They totally did.
Because game 3 went 18 innings.
So game three went 18 innings. It's the longest scoreless game in postseason history, and it is now tied if I remember right, it's a 4-way tie for the longest game in postseason history, no matter what. It was 6.5 hours.
Yeah, it was
of baseball.
Yeah,
and it was awesome. Should we talk about superstitions for a minute, or should we not?
Let's get into superstitions, Brig. Let's get into it because I owe. First off, I owe Jewel an apology because last week I said I wasn't going to rail on him. Then I railed on him for not holding the position. I did not hold the position in game 1. I figured, you know what? This game's as good as over. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get some popcorn. So I went downstairs and got some popcorn, and then the Astros got 2 guys on. I put the popcorn back, ran back upstairs to my spot, and by that point it was too late. And Yordan Alvarez hit an upper decker.
Yep. Well, I got on the phone with Brad and I said, Brad, for those of you following us on Instagram, you got
saw the conversation.
See the conversation live because Brad kept his language in check, which I was really appreciative of. So I didn't have to edit anything. And I don't know if you knew. Did you know I was posting live as we were chatting?
I had no idea. I had so many other things on my mind.
That's what I thought.
I was 15 innings into a scoreless game, elimination game.
I was giggling my little butt off. So I texted Brad. I said, Brad, I have been watching the game cast on my phone the whole time, and things are going well enough. But we need to shake it up. Can I break the position? Right? Because hold the position was like when Brad was doing this.
Yeah. I tried everything, Brig. I tried everything. I went here. I went surrender cobra. I put a pillow on my head. I probably should have grabbed a shoe. I had an ottoman right there with shoes, and I should have grabbed a shoe and put it on my head. I tried everything. And then finally I was like, yeah, maybe we should break the position. I sat on the floor, and then 3 batters later, Jeremy Pena hits a home run.
I said, no, Brad, don't do it. I told him that I carry half of the mojo points because I'm not technically a Mariners fan. So it would be okay for me to break the mold. You stay where you're at. But he blew it. And then I blew it. So I figure we blew it.
That's the thing is I thought that maybe it was we've been in a standstill for this long. Maybe I need because I'll tell you what, Brig. I sat on the other side of the couch in the first inning, and the Astros got 2 guys on. Immediately, I moved to the other end of the couch, and they got out of it. Okay, that's fine. And
that's
then
the way it goes.
And then we got to the 10th inning. And I was like, I need something, so I went and grabbed my popcorn, and I was not eating it during the inning. I was eating it between innings. And then I can't remember what inning it was, but at one point they got a couple guys on. As I was sitting there eating, I put it down. I didn't touch it till the game was over. I was too scared. Afraid. I was afeared, as you say.
Afeared. I was afeared.
Yeah, I was afeared.
So Seattle, let's see. I'm going to move to the postseason really quick because Seattle, I thought they did terrific. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I was I said, I was really happy. They had the Astros up against the wall a couple times, and it was awesome. The Mariners, the Astros only led for 4 innings. Total.
Yeah.
Out of 27 innings played.
Yeah. Jason's telling me you're not allowed to eat popcorn ever again.
Oh, not during baseball season. No, I'm done with popcorn during baseball. At least while the Mariners are playing. No more.
So Yordan Alvarez went 4 for 15, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and 3 runs total.
Both home runs were go-ahead homers.
And they were clutch, man. Exactly. So Jose Altuve, my favorite statistic here of the whole day.
Yeah.
Jose Altuve went 0 for 16 with 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. Loved it.
I feel like that was a significant part of the success the Mariners had against them was keeping Altuve off the base paths. Is that being able to get that out going toward Jeremy Pena, who was just clutch as clutch can be.
Right.
But man,
But
yeah,
if you don't
it
have
was big
production in
time.
front of him, it stings a little less. Yeah.
Well, and it's the thing too is like you get late in the game with Altuve, and you never know what's going to happen because he has hit a walk-off home run to send them to the World Series. He is
Totally.
clutch, but the fact that he didn't do anything in this series at all, no matter when it was, that to me was an enormous win. Absolutely enormous, and showed the guts that this pitching staff has. Guys who have struggled periodically here and there the last week or two, right?
Yeah.
They came in and they faced him straight up. They struck him out. They got him.
And that's what I think. That's what I think is amazing is that it wasn't that he was off. It was that the pitching seemed like it was on. Like he had his moments where he shouldn't have chased, and he had his moments where you're like, all right, where's your head? But most of the time, he just got beat.
Well, because there were
really
a couple
clean.
long strikes. He had a couple long strikes. I was like, oh shoot, if he
Yeah.
straightens that out, this game we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But
So I thought that was a really impressive thing. And we'll see if he can make an adjustment for the LCS because it's entirely possible. And I don't think it matters who they face, whether it's Cleveland or New York. I think he's going to have made an adjustment and is going to be problematic in the ALCS.
I think so too.
Because if you get shown up by a Mariners team like this young, that everybody's calling upstarts, etc., like you don't want to be the veteran, legendary, dude like Altuve is. And carry on whatever you've been carrying with you. So
right.
I'm really excited to see what adjustments he makes from from like a baseball fan perspective, but I hope he continues as like a human. Yeah, I hope he continues to struggle. Yeah. Let's talk about Pena and we talked about him a little bit, but he went 4 for 16 with a home run. It's the game winner in game 3, and then he battled 3 times to set up Alvarez for these game-changing RBIs, like you said. And obviously it didn't come to fruition because Altuve couldn't put it together, but Alvarez could. Yeah, it was a big deal. Yuli Gurriel.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, Yuli Gurriel goes 6 for 15. Duh. And
do you expect that? Like every time he got up there and like hit a home run or hit a double, I was like, of course he did. Like I get more stressed out when that guy is like my new Jim Thome. Because I felt like Jim Thome every time he got up, especially in October, it's like he's getting on. It's just a matter of how he does it. And I feel like it's the same thing with Gurriel. Like once October rolls around, he's getting on.
Didn't Thome hit 6 home runs in the postseason at one point in one postseason run one time?
Probably, yeah, it was probably
like
98
or
95.
Yeah, something like that.
I felt like he was hitting dingers every time he was up against the Mariners. Like just driving me nuts.
Yeah. I totally agree. Let's move over to the Seattle lineup really quick. A couple of notables. Julio Rodriguez, 4 for 16 as well. 3 doubles and 3 runs. Check this out. Let me just call back to this, okay? Pena, 4 for 16. Rodriguez, 4 for 16. And Alvarez, 4 for 15. 2 of those guys are rookies.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. But I think it also shows the quality of the pitching. Like we talked about, Alvarez 4 for 15, Altuve 0 for 16. Pena hitting 250 in this series was really good because nobody was hitting. Nobody was hitting at all.
So let's talk about the pitching, at least on the side, because Verlander got mowed over.
He did.
Like he brought nothing to the table. Nothing.
No, and it's like I said, like it played. Like I said, I think I brought this up on Thursday that the Mariners went deep on him, got deep counts on him. And got to him early, and it was looking like the Mariners were going to coast to a Game 1 win.
Well, and they almost did. Honestly, they should have had that in the bag.
Yeah, but he went 4 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts was all.
Woof. That's real. That's like rookie business right there. That's real bad.
It is, and the thing is like we've talked about, he gets worse as he goes deeper into the playoffs, and I'm curious what he's going to do in the next series.
Well, and deeper into even one game at a time, right? The deeper he gets, even the deeper he gets into counts. Like if you can push him to an 8 or 9 or 10 pitch at bat, the dude's going to struggle. Yeah. And then I feel like he carries that forward, and that momentum just snowballs on him somehow.
Yeah.
So
and I don't think it's a mental thing. I think it's just I think it might be an age thing, and
Something.
just seeing his stuff kind of thing, because his success comes from getting guys to get themselves out. He pounds the zone and he says,
Yeah.
You're either going to swing and miss, you're either going to foul it off, get yourself to 2 strikes, then you're going to swing and miss, or you're going to ground out because you're
Yeah.
not going to make solid contact. They're making solid contact against him, and when that happens,
For sure.
it's ugly for him. But can we talk Luis Castillo for a minute?
We have to. I was going to say that.
7 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 3 earned runs. He gave up a couple home runs, which was what the Astros do, right? They don't get on base, they hit home runs instead, which was the problem in the end. And then he struck out 7 in 7 innings. George Kirby, 7 innings pitched, rookie, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say.
No earned runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks.
What?
Amazing.
The fact that he's a rookie up against arguably the most terrifying team in baseball is fabulous.
Yep. One of the most loaded offenses in baseball.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Let's talk for a minute about the ALDS. I made a comment. In fact, I'll just find it and pull it up really quick.
Okay, while you find that, we have a comment that I want to address. This is from Derpy Gaming. It'll be the Yankees, unfortunately, against the Astros. As a Cleveland fan, baseball gods just hate us. I feel that on such a high level because I feel like the baseball gods hate the Mariners so bad, so often. Because sorry, Brig, before you get in there, I wanted to talk about this real quick. Because as we were going through Game 3, the umpiring behind home plate just felt bad, like not good.
Okay, yeah.
And here is the confirmation of it. Because so first off, I want to show this. In the middle, you've got the runs for Houston, 0.68, but it's not just like 0.68 towards Houston. The home plate umpire was taking runs off the board for both teams.
Right.
But it happened to be for Seattle more based on the situations and everything.
Yeah.
But this is the thing that really drives me nuts, Brig. Look at this. On the left side of the plate, there's like 5 strikes called in that same spot, which is like, okay, like that's consistently called in that same spot. You saw it all game, but 1, that's not necessarily a hittable pitch.
No, right.
And 2, there is a ball called on the plate.
Yeah, in the zone.
That same spot. And then there's a strike called low just below that. Like, that is so horribly inconsistent. How do you do that? And then on the other side of the plate, on the right-handed batter's box side, you've got 2 balls called in the zone and 4 strikes called outside the zone in that same spot. And then you go up, there's a ball called at the top of the zone. Like, that's fine. I understand calling a ball at the top of the zone. That can be hard to tell sometimes. But there's a strike called 3 baseball widths above the zone.
Yes.
It was insane. That's why this game went scoreless for 17 and a half innings. Was because the home plate umpire was not consistent, was taking the bat out of the guy's hands because you don't know what it's going to be. I haven't looked, but I'm curious how many backwards Ks there were in that game because guys just didn't know. They didn't know. Like, they're like, okay, that's a ball. No, that's a strike. Okay. Well, and then you've got a close. It was just absolutely insane. I was just furious the entire game. Like, at one point, I was keeping track of where the balls and strikes were being called at the bottom of the zone several times. It's like, well, that was a ball last inning. How is that a strike now? Well, that was a strike last inning. How is that a ball now? It was it was driving me absolutely up the wall. And this is why, Brig, I'm so strongly in favor of robot umpires, because I know it's going to look weird. You're going to have the catcher setting up outside, and there's going to be a ball in the inside corner of the plate that you're going to be like, that's a ball. Well, no, it crossed the plate. It doesn't matter where the catcher set up. It's still a strike.
Yeah.
Right. Like, absolutely insane.
I agree.
And then
plus framing and everything like that.
Yeah.
Too.
And there was a pitch. It should have been 0-2 on, I can't remember who it was exactly, but I remember it should have been 0-2 because it was very clearly in the zone. I think it might have been this one towards the bottom of the zone down in the lower left-hand corner of the box.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh, who, by the way, was playing with a broken thumb, just couldn't squeeze it. Right. And the umpire
which was astonishing
because he missed it.
And we texted him, we messaged him on Instagram. He still didn't get back to us. Like, I'm like, you have breaks in mid-game, homie. Come on. Anyway, a couple of comments have come in from Derpy Gaming. I want to highlight these really quick. He says that this is how it's been for the Cleveland series all the way around. It's been too inconsistent, favorable calls going both ways. We have an umpire scorecard right here, man. From how do you pull that, man? Can you pull that off? There we go.
It. Oh.
We did it at the same time. All right, so Derpy Gaming, here's what we've seen. This is game one of the ALDS Cleveland.
That's a terribly established strike zone, by the way.
It's look at it. It looks like a tooth. Looks like a molar.
It does
right?
Look like a molar.
Like this is absurd. And strikes are low. I guarantee those strikes down under the zone were some of those were against Aaron Judge because he gets those calls strikes below the zone by 2 or 3 baseballs all the time. Now I know I'm a Yankees fan, but it's still ridiculous because this gave Cleveland a half a run favorable. But look at the overall consistency is still only 93%. League average is 94%. That's terrible. Brad wants it up in the 97, 98 range, which I think is a fair. But the called strike accuracy is 84% in this game, obviously, when Jordan Baker was behind the plate. So Derpy Gaming, just an idea that you're exactly right. Inconsistent all over the place, and it's ridiculous. You also got another comment here from Derpy Gaming. He says that so the Mariners aren't as deep in the bullpen, and that's been a difference maker. He's talking about specifically
the bullpen,
correlating the bullpens between Seattle and Cleveland. He says that's a difference maker against the Astros, how deep the bullpen is. So do you think that's the case? Is it a matter of how deep the bullpen is to beat the Astros?
Honestly, with the Astros, because they have so much power, they go deep when they have to. That's the difference. It's literally one pitch. That's all it is. Yeah. The Mariners have a top 5 bullpen. I know the Guardians have a great bullpen too. I don't know if they're top 5, whatever, but it doesn't matter who you have on the mound. If they don't even have to make a mistake. Like one of Alvarez's home runs was a ball out of the zone.
Yeah, and he reached out and grabbed it. He almost slapped at it.
Boxes.
Yeah.
Because he's so big and so strong, he doesn't have to he can miss it and it's going to go out.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. And Peña's such a great hitter. He doesn't have to hit strikes either. So, that I don't know. Like that's the hard thing is like you got to keep him in the yard. If you can keep him in the yard, you're going to win. And that was the Mariners' Achilles heel this year. And if the Guardians can, they might stand a chance. But it just comes down to timely home runs.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is, so if we talk about the Yankees playing them, the bullpen's a mash unit right now. It's a total issue. Mm-hmm. And those guys aren't throwing ground balls, right? It's all or nothing, do or die with the Yankees bullpen right now. So really interested to see. And that's why Stephen Kwan has been so successful against the Yankees. And that's why Jose Ramirez has been so successful against the Yankees. Obviously, they play a little bit of a different style. I feel like Kwan, well, no, they're the same because Kwan is a production hitter. He's a contact guy. And so is Jose, which is awesome.